What you think?
Psychic spin segment.
Okay, we're going to do that. So here we are. This is our psychic spin segment, the last Saturday of every month. This is when we look at the big questions, right, Mary? What do we ask?
The big question.
You know, we ask tarot what's going on in the news, current events, how the universe works,
the meaning of life.
Are there aliens, and
Are robots taking over?
Are robots taking over? We actually did that, folks. Are robots taking over the world?
Yes.
And you guys can participate in this. All you gotta do is go over to tarottoday.live, our page on the Tarot Guild site, and you'll see a message Mary, message Dax button. Just click on that, send us a message. Let us know the things you'd like us to look into on these psychic spin segments. If we get a bunch of them, I may even impromptu pop on a Wednesday or something and do it. We'll see. Surprise. But we noticed that there's a lot of conversation going on about AI. And, as I mentioned earlier, where's that banner is the how will AI tarot decks impact the market in the future? I wrote a whole article on it. So go check that out, folks, on the Tarot Guild website. And we're going to ask the tarot about it because a lot of people are, think of it as a miracle, and other people are freaked out by it. They think it's a menace, AI art. What do you think, Mary?
A blessing or a curse?
Blessing or
yeah.
curse?
Yeah. AI art. AI art. It's hard to say that. What do I think of it? I feel like look, I kind of like, that's kind of my approach to making art, is to make art that like AI wouldn't think of making.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen your art and it's right behind you.
Right. Like, what computer is going to make that or this? None. Right. I think, if I can defy the logic of the computer, but that's just me. I know a lot of other artists are kind of like, if they can use it sort of like a tool, like Photoshop, that's one thing, but for other people, there's a lot of people too that right now are just having fun with it. Like, what can it do? Like, some of my friends that are like still in the movie business, they're like, okay, now I can take, this Marvel hero and have him battle this DC Comics hero, and create this wacky scene,
That is so cool. I think I've seen some of that.
Yeah. And I feel like in a sense, we, is it going to make a difference when it comes to tarot decks? I kind of feel like Photoshop already made the biggest difference, and I think anything from there is just like, okay, it just looks better or not. But that doesn't mean that as a divinatory tool, it's going to have a soul that we kind of, or what we think of as a soul, when we work with a deck. It's that X factor. It's that extra thing where you could have the crappiest looking art, it's all in the, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but you could have the crappiest looking art deck, and yet like that's your best reading deck ever. And you don't know why. And, but you do better readings with it if the information flows better. So it's hard to say how it's going to impact it. But what do you think?
Awesome sauce popping back on here. So, as I said in my article, I can see both sides of it. And if people are just generating art, and it's in its infancy right now as far as a tool and it being accessible to everybody, I mean, it takes some engineering, just what you're putting in there to get an image to come out the way you want. It's not as easy as people think, but you can randomly tell it to generate art. And if you're just taking that and throwing it on a card, that's not a cohesive deck to me. That's nothing I want to buy anyway, and I can't imagine trying to use that to do a reading, but as a tool for an actual artist, yes, I can see that. When digital art came out, like the kind of decks that Tira Marchetti does, uh, 20 years ago, and over the last couple of decades, a lot of people were against that. It's like, oh, it's not real art, which we know it is. And just look at the popularity of his decks. I think that AI art is going to evolve, and people's issues with it, I think, I don't think it's going to be as bad as people think it is. I think it's going to evolve into a tool that actual artists can use to make actual decks that are, have a theme and are consistent, and not just random images. It'd be like a tool, like a brush or an element put into a piece of digital art. To me, it's all the same thing. But we should pull some cards and see what the tarot has to say. What's it?
Yeah.
How's it going to affect the market here? Let's see. We'll pull some cards out here. Okay. So I did ask this about, is it going to affect the market overall negatively? And I got no, 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 yes, yes. So it's leaning no, that ultimately it's not going to be bad like we think it's going to be. Well, not we, but there are some people out there that are really decrying the whole AI art thing, especially in tarot decks. I think a lot of this stems from, we got the devil card here. We are attached to the way things are, just like when digital art came out and people were attached to, no, art is when you use clay or you paint something, or drawing with pencils and, even crayons, it's like, yeah, that's real art. Digital art isn't. No, it is art. And we just are attached to this idea. And the Five of Swords, I find this to be very interesting. I think there's a couple of things going on. First of all, I think on one layer, it's representing how, only the people that could, that are actual artists that could do art were the winners. The rest of us that are not artistically inclined, we're back here. Also, I think that because this is right next to the devil card, like this, what I think was going on with this is, on another layer, it could be seen that these are the people in the background are, the current deck creators, and that they're feeling like AI art's going to steal their thunder, and that's how they're feeling. And that's because they're attached to that proposition. Now it is a transitory or transition period here, because we did get the death card right next to the devil card. When I first saw that, it didn't look too promising, but yeah, I think we are going through a transition, but I think we're going to come out of it on the other side better off than we were before, which every new innovation, that seems like what happens, right? We go through this period. And right after that, I got the Ace of Cups, really positive. I mean, this opens the doors for a lot of things. Now, the cup is overflowing, Mary. And so the feeling I got from this is, yeah, initially there's going to be, people are going to flood the market with this stuff. And most of it's going to be bad, kind of crappy, vacant, empty art, thrown on cards, stuck on Etsy. The Chinese are going to pop out billions of these decks, but I think it also is an opportunity. The one door closes, another door opens, and then we have this new opportunity to create something here. And then the Page of Swords comes in, and the Page of Swords, the way it came up in my reading, was like this. He's looking back on this this cup, but this is where we eventually get here, where we're able to critically think about this and actually, make it into a tool, make it something positive. So that's the cards that I got on it. What did you ask?
What I asked is actually, how is it going to affect tarot readings?
Mm. Cool.
like reading with these decks. And the first thing that came up actually was the Page of Wands. And I feel like, okay, so there's really going to be a curiosity factor, you know, like it's new, it's interesting. People are going to be curious, they're going to want to try it. Um, Three Wands, they're really going to be looking at it, seeing what's, coming up. It's also like assessing, like, okay, how did that reading turn out compared to others? And I think for readers themselves, I think they're going to be looking at those decks kind of like, okay, you're going to have like two camps. There's a two of wands. So, it could go either way with as far as how popular it is with readers in the long run. I do have the Nine of Swords. There's a lot of, worry and, don't lose any sleep over it, people, right? But in the end, I got the Knight of Pentacles, which is interesting. And I think that that's true for readers and people who get readings. Ultimately, you're going to keep going back for what you feel you can count on. What's dependable. Is a reading done just through AI going to feel, valuable in the long run? I'm not so sure. You know, you miss that personal connection, right? And I think for the decks for readers, I feel like again they're going to stick with sort of tried and true for them. There might be some new decks that come out using AI that are just fabulous, and you want to have it in your collection or you really like it. But I don't feel like it's going to change that many things when it comes to readings and stuff like
Mm.
that.
Very similar to what I got. And I know we're talking about AI art and creating decks with it, but one thing I did mention in my article was I think at least for the foreseeable future, the next few years anyway, us as readers are safe because it's not just the art, it's the AI doing the reading. What about that? And I've
Yeah.
seen some examples of that online and on YouTube, and people tried it out and stuff. And I think we're really far off from AI actually being able to do a decent reading. And by the way, when I say do a reading, I'm talking about mimic a human like tarot experience with the empathy and so forth. I don't think I think it's possible that AI may never be able to do readings like we do. They may be able to mimic, they may get so good. Remember, it's called artificial intelligence. They're able to fake it. All right. But still, no matter how complicated and sophisticated AI gets, it'll never have a connection like we do with our subconscious, with our collective
Yeah.
conscious, our higher self, where the real reading happens.
Yeah.
So I think we're years off before they can even fake it. I don't think they'll ever get to be able to replace a human. But anyway, that's my 2 cents. So there you go. The psychic spin. Was there anything else we wanted to ask, or did we pretty much covered it? I think.
I feel like we covered it.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too. Me too. So there you go, folks. The psychic spin on AI art and how it's going to affect the market. All right.